Captain Sam Nelson stared at the main screen on the bridge of the Earth defense ship Vigilant. 5 strange ships had entered the asteroid belt without warning. They were not Earth ships. "Are they responding to our messages?" he asked. Lieutenant Grace Martinez shook her head. Her dark hair was tied back tightly. "No, sir. We've tried all frequencies. They're ignoring us." Sam rubbed his chin. This was not good. After the Galactic Council meeting 3 weeks ago, Earth Command had warned all ships to watch for alien activity. Now it was happening. "Scan them again. What are they doing?" Sam ordered. Officer Ben Kelly worked at his station. "They appear to be setting up mining equipment on asteroid XB-240. That's one of our mapped resources." Sam nodded. The Zarkonians were not wasting time. They had gone straight to one of the largest mineral-rich asteroids in the belt. "Send a message to Earth Command," Sam said. "Then prepare a shuttle. I'm going to try talking to them, face to face." Grace looked worried. "Sir, is that safe?" "Probably not," Sam admitted. "But we need to establish contact. They can't just ignore us in our own solar system." 2 hours later, Sam's shuttle approached the Zarkonian ships. Up close, they were impressive. Smooth blue metal with strange patterns that glowed. No visible engines, yet they moved with perfect control. Earth ships looked like junk in comparison. A voice came through the communication system, speaking perfect English. "Human vessel, state your purpose." "This is Captain Sam Nelson of the Earth Defense Fleet. I request permission to dock and speak with your commander." There was a pause. "Permission granted. Follow the guidance beacon." Sam's shuttle was guided to a docking port on the largest Zarkonian ship. When the airlock opened, 2 tall blue-skinned aliens waited. They wore no spacesuits, just simple gray uniforms. "This way," one said without introducing himself. Sam followed them through corridors that seemed to glow from within. The ship was quiet, with few crew members visible. After several minutes, they entered a large room. A Zarkonian sat behind a desk made of some metallic material. Sam recognized him from images shown at Earth Command briefings. "Overseer Krell," Sam said with a small bow. The Zarkonian looked surprised. "You know who I am." "We try to learn about those who enter our solar system," Sam replied. Krell laughed. "Your solar system? How quaint. Please sit." Sam remained standing. "Overseer, you've begun mining operations without proper notification to Earth authorities. This asteroid is already claimed by Earth." Krell waved his hand dismissively. "The Galactic Council granted us mining rights." "Conditional rights," Sam corrected, "with respect for existing Earth operations." "We observed no active operations on this asteroid," Krell said. "It's been surveyed and claimed. Our mining operation was scheduled to begin here next year." Krell leaned forward. "Captain, let me explain something. In galactic terms, a claim without active use is not valid. You cannot simply place your flag and expect others to wait while you move at your limited pace." Sam felt his face grow warm, but kept his voice calm. "Nevertheless, we request that you choose another asteroid. There are thousands available, but not with this particular mineral composition," Krell said. "Listen, Captain. The Council has spoken. We have rights to mine here. Your people can learn from us. Perhaps in 50 years, you can try these operations yourself." Sam straightened his back. "Overseer, we will be filing a formal complaint with the Galactic Council." Krell smiled, showing teeth that were too white and too sharp. "Of course. The Council processes such complaints very efficiently. You should expect a response in about 10 of your Earth years." Sam realized he was being mocked. "Then we will need to escalate this through other channels." "Are you threatening us, Captain?" Krell asked, still smiling. "That would be unwise. We mean no harm to humans. We simply use resources you cannot effectively utilize. This is how the galaxy works. Advanced species help primitive ones by showing them their place." Sam nodded stiffly. "I understand your position. We will respond accordingly." "Wonderful," Krell said. "Now, would you like a tour of our operation? You might learn something useful." "Thank you, no," Sam said. "I've seen enough." As Sam returned to his shuttle, he heard the Zarkonians laughing behind him. They thought humans were jokes. Weak, primitive. They would learn differently soon enough. 3 months passed. The Zarkonians now had 12 mining ships in the asteroid belt. Each week, more arrived. They ignored all messages from Earth except one weekly update that always said the same thing. Mining operations proceeding as approved by Galactic Council. Frank Miller, chief of the Ceres mining colony, called an emergency meeting. Ceres was the largest human settlement in the asteroid belt, home to over 500 miners and their families. "They're getting closer to our territory," Frank said, pointing to a map. "Last week, they started operations on XB-112. That's only 50,000 kilometers from here." The room filled with angry voices. Susan Rivera, head of mining operations, stood up. "They're taking all the best asteroids, the ones rich with platinum and rare earths. They know exactly what they're doing." Frank nodded grimly. "And they work fast. They strip an asteroid in days that would take us months to mine." Back on Earth, Ambassador Kate Williams was trying everything to get the Galactic Council to listen. She sent daily messages. She filed formal complaints. But the Council moved slowly, very slowly. "It could be years before they even review our case," she told the Earth Defense Council. Meanwhile, the Zarkonians take more and more of our resources. Admiral Jack Peterson pounded his fist on the table. "We should send more ships to protect our territory." "That might make things worse," Kate warned. "The Zarkonians have advanced weapons. We've never seen them used, but our intelligence suggests they're powerful." "So we just wait?" the Admiral asked angrily. Kate shook her head. "Not exactly. I have another idea." At that moment, Dr. Olivia Clark was working in her lab at the Lunar Science Base. For weeks, she had been studying a piece of Zarkonian technology. It was just a small mining tool that a brave Ceres worker had managed to take when the Zarkonians weren't looking. "This is fascinating," she told her assistant, Alan Park. "Their technology uses principles we've only just begun to understand. But it's not magic." Alan looked at the disassembled tool. "Can you figure out how it works?" Olivia smiled. "I already have. And I found something interesting." She pointed to a small crystal component. "This is their power source. It's incredibly efficient, but it has a weakness." "What kind of weakness?" Alan asked. "It's sensitive to a specific frequency of electromagnetic radiation. The wrong signal could disrupt it completely." Back in the asteroid belt, trouble was brewing. The Zarkonians had moved their operations to an area near a small human research station. The station was unmanned most of the time, with only drone equipment monitoring radiation in the belt. Captain Sam Nelson received an urgent message from Earth Command. "The research station has gone silent," he told his crew. "We need to check it out." When the Vigilant arrived, they found only floating debris where the station had been. Sam felt cold anger rising in his chest. "Scan for Zarkonian ships," he ordered. "One vessel 10,000 kilometers away," reported Lieutenant Martinez. "Hail them," Sam said. The face of a Zarkonian officer appeared on screen. It wasn't Overseer Krell, but a lower-ranking alien. "What happened to our research station?" Sam demanded. The Zarkonian looked bored. "There was an unfortunate accident. Your primitive station was too close to our mining operation. The extraction process created an energy wave that damaged it." "That station was clearly marked on all charts," Sam said. "This was no accident." "Think what you wish, human," the Zarkonian replied. "We have filed an incident report with the Galactic Council. If you wish to dispute our account, you may do so through proper channels." The screen went black. The Zarkonian had cut the connection. "Record everything," Sam told his crew. "Take samples of the debris. We need proof this was deliberate. As the Vigilant collected evidence, Sam received a message from Earth. It was from Admiral Peterson. Captain, return to Earth immediately. We're done playing nice. It's time for Plan B. The mining ship Horizon Dawn moved slowly through the asteroid belt. The crew of 37 was in the middle of a routine operation, extracting rare minerals from a medium-sized asteroid. Captain Lydia Scott checked the sensors one more time. No Zarkonian ships nearby. Good. How much longer, Joe? She asked her chief engineer. Joe Russell looked up from his control panel. About 3 more hours. This rock has good stuff. Worth the risk. They all knew the risk. The Zarkonians were claiming more territory every day. This asteroid was still in the safe zone, but that could change quickly. Keep an eye on the long-range scanners, Lydia told her navigator, Andy Wu. I don't want any blue-skinned surprises today. An hour later, Andy sat up straight in his chair. Captain, I'm picking up something big. Coming in fast. Lydia felt her heart beat faster. Zarkonian. Yes. It's one of their harvester ships, much bigger than ours. Lydia hit the ship-wide comm. All hands, prepare for possible contact with Zarkonians. Stay calm and remember your training. The Zarkonian ship appeared suddenly, as if it had jumped through space. One moment it was a dot on the scanner. The next it loomed above them, massive and gleaming. They're hailing us, Andy said. The face of Overseer Krell filled the main screen. Human vessel, you are mining in a restricted area. Cease operations immediately. Lydia stood tall. Overseer, we're in Earth-claimed territory. Your own charts show this area as human space. Krell smiled coldly. The boundaries have been adjusted. The Galactic Council has granted us expanded mining rights. We received no notification of this, Lydia said. Your primitive communication systems must have missed it, Krell replied. Now power down your equipment. We are taking control of your ship for inspection. You have no right to board us, Lydia said firmly. I'm not asking permission, Krell said. The screen went black. Lydia felt the ship shudder. They're using a tractor beam. Joe, can you break us free? Joe's fingers flew over his controls. Engines at maximum, but we can't break their hold. Send an emergency signal to the Defiant, Lydia ordered. Tell them we're being boarded against our will. 30 minutes later, Captain Eric Johnson of the Earth defense ship Defiant received the distress call. Set course for the Horizon Dawn, he ordered. Maximum speed. When they arrived, the Defiant found the Horizon Dawn locked against the side of the much larger Zarkonian harvester. No response came to their hails. Scan the human ship, Eric ordered. No life signs, reported his science officer. But I detect human biosigns on the Zarkonian vessel. They've taken the crew aboard. Hail the Zarkonians, Eric said. A different Zarkonian appeared on screen, not Krell. Human vessel, you are interfering with authorized inspection activities. You have illegally seized a human ship and its crew, Eric said. Release them immediately. The crew is being questioned about illegal mining. They will be released when we determine they have not violated galactic law. Eric's face hardened. You have no authority to detain Earth citizens. Release them now, or we will take action. The Zarkonian laughed. With what? Your primitive weapons. Be careful with your threats, human. This is your final warning, Eric said. Suddenly, defense platforms deployed from the Zarkonian ship. Before the Defiant could react, energy beams lashed out. Evasive action, Eric shouted. The Defiant was fast, but not fast enough. 2 beams hit the ship, tearing through the hull. Alarms screamed across the bridge. Damage report, Eric called. Hull breach on decks 2 and 3. 3 crew members. They're gone, sir. Dead. Eric gripped his chair as the ship rocked from another near miss. Return fire. Target their weapons only. The Defiant fired its best weapons. They struck the Zarkonian shields and fizzled out, doing no damage. Their shields are too strong, the weapons officer reported. Eric made a quick decision. Retreat, get us out of range. As the Defiant limped away, Eric sent an urgent message to Earth. This is no longer a diplomatic incident. This is war. On his ship, Overseer Krell watched the Defiant escape. Humans, he said to his second-in-command. So predictable. So weak. His officer looked concerned. Sir, should we pursue them? No need. Krell said. They're no threat to us. Tell the High Command the humans are becoming annoying, but the situation is under control. The officer nodded and left. Krell didn't see the small Neldorian observation vessel hidden among the asteroids, recording everything that had happened. Earth's response was swift and unified. News of the attack on the Defiant and the capture of the Horizon Dawn crew spread quickly. People were angry. Leaders from all nations met in an emergency session. We cannot allow aliens to kidnap our people and attack our ships, said President Carolyn Ward. We must act now. General Lisa Wright stood before the world's military leaders. The Zarkonians have technology far beyond ours. Their shields can stop our best weapons. Their ships are faster, but we have something they don't expect. What's that? Asked the Chinese general. Human ingenuity, Lisa replied, and Dr. Olivia Clark. In her laboratory on the moon, Dr. Clark worked day and night. The small piece of Zarkonian technology had revealed many secrets. Alan Park brought her another cup of coffee. You should sleep, he said. Olivia shook her head. No time. Look at this. She pointed to her computer screen. Their shield technology uses a frequency modulation that's predictable. If we can send a counter-frequency at exactly the right moment, we might be able to create a temporary window through their shields. Enough to get a weapon through? Alan asked. Maybe, Olivia said, but we need more data. And we need to test it. In orbit around Earth, Chief Engineer Paul Harris led a team modifying Earth's space fleet. Old ships were pulled from retirement. Civilian vessels were quickly fitted with new systems. It's not pretty, Paul told Admiral Peterson as they toured the refitted cargo ship Atlas. But it might work. Explain it to me again, the Admiral said. Paul pointed to new devices attached to the ship's hull. These are based on Dr. Clark's findings. They emit the counter-frequency that might disrupt Zarkonian shields. And these, he pointed to other new equipment. Air experimental weapons using principles we learned from their mining tools. Will they work? The Admiral asked. Paul shrugged. Honestly, we don't know. We've had 2 weeks to adapt alien technology that took them centuries to develop. It's a long shot. It's the only shot we have, the Admiral said. Meanwhile, a group of computer experts worked in a secret facility. They called themselves NetForce. Their leader, Zach Turner, hadn't slept in 3 days. I think I've cracked it, he told his team. The Zarkonians use a communication system similar to our quantum networks, but with differences. I found a backdoor into their systems. How? Asked his colleague, Hannah Lee. They never expected anyone to try, Zach said with a grin. Why secure your systems against primitives who couldn't possibly understand them? On Mars Colony, Dr. Nicole Bennett led a different team. They focused on Zarkonian shield technology specifically. Their shields are impressive, she told her team. But they have one weakness. They're designed to stop energy weapons and physical projectiles. But what about something that's both? Her assistant, Carlos Diaz, looked confused. Both? How is that possible? Nicole smiled. We've developed a new type of projectile. It carries an energy charge that changes state when it hits the shield. The shield reads it as energy, tries to disperse it, but then it transforms into matter that slips through the gap. That's brilliant, Carlos said. Will it work? In theory, Nicole said. We haven't been able to test it against actual Zarkonian shields. Back on Earth, Ambassador Kate Williams met with Commander Alexis Frost, freshly returned from the Galactic Council. The Council refuses to meet on an emergency basis, Kate said. They say they need more evidence of Zarkonian aggression. Alexis nodded. The Meldorians are helping us. Their observation vessel recorded the attack on the Defiant. They're presenting it to the Council now, but it will take time. Time we don't have, Kate said. The Zarkonians still have our people. Then we take them back, said Admiral Peterson, joining the meeting. General Wright has a plan. It's risky, but it's our best option. How soon? Kate asked. 72 hours, the Admiral said. That's all the time our people have to get ready. Across Earth, Mars, and the Moon, humans worked without rest. Testing, building, planning. They had one chance to show the Zarkonians that humanity should not be underestimated. Admiral Peterson stood on the bridge of his command ship, the Intrepid. Around him, the bridge crew worked at their stations quietly. Everyone knew what was at stake. All ships report ready, sir, said his communications officer. The Admiral nodded. Open a channel to the Zarkonian command ship. Overseer Krell's face appeared on the main screen. He looked annoyed at the interruption. What do you want, human? I am busy. This is Admiral Jack Peterson of the Earth Defense Fleet. You are holding 37 Earth citizens against their will. You have destroyed one of our research stations. You have attacked a military vessel, killing 3 of my people. This stops now. Krell looked amused. And what exactly do you plan to do about it? Release our people and withdraw from the asteroid belt within 24 hours, or we will remove you by force. Krell laughed. With what? Your primitive ships. Your ancient weapons. You saw what happened to your vessel that tried to interfere with us. That was then, Peterson said. This is your only warning. He signaled to cut the transmission. Krell's mocking face disappeared from the screen. He's not going to comply, said Captain Sam Nelson, who stood beside the Admiral. No, Peterson agreed. Begin Operation Pushback. All ships to their positions. Across the asteroid belt, 20 Earth ships moved into formation. Most were not military vessels. There were mining ships, cargo carriers, and science vessels. All had been modified in the past 72 hours with Dr. Clark's and Dr. Bennett's new technology. On the Zarkonian command ship, an officer approached Overseer Krell. Sir, the humans are deploying ships. They appear to be surrounding our mining operations. Krell waved dismissively. Let them play their games. Our sensors show they are mostly civilian ships with minimal weapons. They pose no threat. Should we prepare our defense platforms just in case? The officer asked. If it makes you feel better, Krell said. But they are not stupid enough to attack us. In his secret facility on Earth, Zach Turner and his NetForce team watched their computer screens. We're in their network, Zach said. Beginning Phase 1. His fingers flew over the keyboard, inserting the code they had prepared. The Zarkonians relied heavily on computer systems to control their ships and equipment. They never expected anyone to hack those systems. Why would they? Humans were primitives. Aboard the EDF Vigilant, Lieutenant Grace Martinez counted down. 30 seconds to engagement range. Captain Nelson looked at his modified ship with pride. It didn't look like much, but inside it carried humanity's best hope. All ships, this is Captain Nelson. Remember your training. Stay in formation. Wait for the signal. The Earth ships continued their approach. They looked small and fragile compared to the gleaming Zarkonian vessels. On the Zarkonian command ship, an alarm sounded. Sir, an officer called to Overseer Krell. The human vessels have entered weapons range. Krell sat up straighter. They're actually going to attack. Deploy defense platforms. The massive Zarkonian ships bristled as weapon systems came online. Energy fields glowed around them as their powerful shields activated. Sir, the officer said with concern, our communication systems are experiencing problems. What kind of problems? Krell demanded. We can't contact our other ships, and our defense coordination systems are. They're not responding correctly. Krell stood up. Impossible. Run diagnostics. Before the officer could respond, small objects launched from the Earth ships. They moved fast, heading toward the Zarkonian vessels. Primitive missiles, Krell said with contempt. Our shields will stop them easily. The objects hit the Zarkonian shields, but instead of exploding, they seemed to phase and flicker. For a brief moment, the shields wavered. What's happening? Krell demanded. Then a second wave launched from the Earth ships. These were Dr. Bennett's special projectiles. They hit the shields at the exact moment of weakness and passed through. Explosions rocked the Zarkonian vessels, not big enough to destroy them, but precise enough to disable key systems. How is this possible? Krell shouted as his ship shuddered. Their weapons shouldn't penetrate our shields. On the Intrepid, Admiral Peterson allowed himself a small smile. Signal Phase 3. Boarding teams, prepare to rescue our people. The Zarkonians had thought humans were primitives. They had been wrong. News of the human victory spread quickly across the galaxy. Within hours, the Galactic Council called an emergency session. The Great Chamber was packed with representatives from hundreds of worlds. The Zarkonian delegation sat in angry silence, their usual arrogance replaced with shocked disbelief. Elder Ziv of the Meldorians spoke first. We warned you. We told you that humans respond to threats differently than any species we have encountered. The head counselor, Terzak, raised a limb for order. We have received reports that human forces disabled and captured nearly all Zarkonian mining vessels in their system. Is this accurate? The Zarkonian High Commander, Draz, stood. His face was tight with anger. The humans used dishonorable tactics. They attacked our systems with computer viruses. They used technology they could not possibly have developed on their own. They must have stolen it. Ambassador Kate Williams stood calmly. She had just arrived from Earth with Commander Alexis Frost beside her. We did not steal anything, Kate said. We studied. We learned. We adapted. In less than one lunar cycle, Draz shouted, Impossible. Kate smiled slightly. Not for humans. Elder Ziv nodded. As we try to explain, when threatened, humans demonstrate remarkable adaptability. They compressed what would take most species decades into mere days. Draz pointed at Kate. They attacked peaceful mining operations. They damaged valuable Zarkonian property. They took our people prisoner. After you kidnapped our miners, Alexis pointed out. After you destroy our research station. After you killed 3 of our military personnel. The chamber erupted in murmurs. Terzak called for silence. What have you done with the Zarkonian crews? The head counselor asked. They are safe and well treated, Kate assured him. Unlike our people, who were held in poor conditions and questioned harshly, we are prepared to return all Zarkonian personnel once our own people are safely home. High Commander Draz was not finished. The Council must punish these primitives. They have violated numerous protocols. They have damaged valuable equipment. They have used military force against a council member. I agree that protocols were violated, Kate said, but not by us. She nodded to Alexis, who activated a small device. A hologram appeared in the center of the chamber. It showed the attack on the Earth Research Station, the capture of the Horizon Dawn, and the unprovoked assault on the Defiant. This footage was recorded by a Meldorian observation vessel, Kate explained. It clearly shows who violated council protocols first. The chamber fell silent as the council members watched. When the recording finished, many turned to look at the Zarkonian delegation with disapproval. High Commander Draz tried one more approach. These humans should not even be here. They are not full council members. They have no right to address this body directly. Actually, Kate said, that is why we are here today. She stepped forward. Earth formally petitions for full membership in the Galactic Council. The chamber erupted again. Full membership was rarely granted to species so new to space travel. Usually, it took centuries of proving themselves. Elder Ziv raised his hand for attention. The Meldorian Collective supports Earth's petition. This caused even more commotion. The Meldorians rarely supported new members. On what grounds? Asked a representative from the Volrex Federation. The humans have demonstrated their readiness, Elder Ziv said. They successfully defended their territory against a technologically superior force. They showed restraint by disabling rather than destroying their opponents. They respected the rules of war by treating prisoners well. Most importantly, they developed partial understanding of advanced technology in an extremely short time. This indicates they are ready to join galactic society as equals. Terzak called for order. This is unexpected. The Council will need time to consider this petition. High Commander Draz was furious. This is outrageous. These primitives. Be careful with your words, Kate interrupted. These primitives defeated your best ships and captured your most advanced mining equipment, all while using technology they developed in less than a month. The council chamber went quiet as the implications sank in. What else might humans be capable of if given time and resources? 6 months passed. The gleaming new ship adaptation floated in Earth orbit. It was unlike any vessel humans had built before. Parts of it were clearly Earth design, but other sections showed influence from alien technology. It was the first of its kind. A human ship incorporating what they had learned from the Zarkonians. Captain Sam Nelson walked through the corridors, pride swelling in his chest. After the conflict in the asteroid belt, he had been chosen to command this special vessel. It was not just a military ship or an exploration vessel. It was a symbol of Earth's new status in the galaxy. Captain, all systems are ready, said his tactical officer, Ryan Chen. Final checks complete. Thank you, Lieutenant, Sam replied. Notify all crew to prepare for departure. The crew of the adaptation was unique. While most were human, 7 members were aliens from different council species. Each was an expert in their field, sent to work alongside humans as part of the new alliance agreements. In the engine room, Chief Engineer Daniel Rodriguez worked with Zell, a Volrex engineer with 4 arms and incredible technical knowledge. Your design modifications were brilliant, Zell said, examining the propulsion system. We would never have considered reconfiguring the energy flow this way. Daniel smiled. We humans like to try new approaches. On the command deck, diplomatic liaison Maria Sanchez spoke with Trell, a young Meldorian observer. Though only 70 years old, very young for a Meldorian, Trell had been specially selected by Elder Ziv for this assignment. Your people continue to surprise us, Trell said. 6 months ago, you barely understood shield technology. Now you've improved upon it. We had good teachers, Maria replied. No, Trell shook his head. You had examples to study, but the improvements came from you. Perhaps most surprising was Verok, a Zarkonian technology specialist who had requested political asylum on Earth. He stood now at his station, his blue skin standing out among the human crew. Are you comfortable here, Verok? Sam asked, approaching him. Very much so, Captain, Verok replied. My people were wrong about humans. Many of us see that now. That is why I chose to come here, to learn and to help. Sam nodded. He knew it couldn't have been easy for Verok to leave his people. The Zarkonians had lost face in the conflict with Earth. Some, like Verok, recognized the opportunity to learn from humans. Others, like former Overseer Krell, had been disgraced. Captain, the communications officer called out. Message from Earth Command. We are cleared for departure. Also, Admiral Peterson sends his personal good wishes. Thank you. Set course for the Galactic Council station. Let's show them what this ship can do. As the adaptation moved away from Earth, Sam received another message. This one was from Ambassador Williams at the Council. Good news, Captain, she said, her face smiling on the screen. 3 more species have requested formal alliances with Earth. They're impressed with how quickly we've adapted to galactic society. That makes 7 alliance requests in 6 months, Sam noted. The Council can't ignore that. They aren't, Kate assured him. Our full membership vote is scheduled for next month. The Meldorians predict it will pass easily. In the Great Council chamber, Elder Ziv addressed his fellow representatives. Many still had questions about humans and their unusual abilities. What makes humans truly dangerous isn't their technology or their aggression, Elder Ziv explained. It's their adaptability and their remarkable ability to turn adversity into advantage. He gestured to the reports in front of them. Human engineers had already developed improvements to several technologies they had encountered during the conflict with the Zarkonians. Improvements that even the Zarkonians hadn't considered possible. We warned the Zarkonians, Elder Ziv concluded, but perhaps this outcome is for the best. The galaxy has gained not just another spacefaring species, but one that will reshape our understanding of what's possible. As if to emphasize his point, the adaptation arrived at the Council station, completing its first faster-than-light jump in half the expected time. Humans had arrived on the galactic stage, and the galaxy would never be the same.